My name was Chloe Smith. Today was the worst day of my life. Rose, the woman who raised me, the only person who ever truly loved me, was diagnosed with advanced liver cirrhosis. She needed an immediate transplant, but the surgery would cost a fortune. I came home looking.
Zane was my boyfriend of 5 years, and that woman was my sister, Grace.
I kicked the door open and slapped her across the face.
How dare you hit me?
He's just trash. Keep him if you want.
Then my adoptive parents rushed in.
Since I was a kid,
They only cared about Grace.
Grace! You are going to get married soon. What are you doing with another man?
The Blacks and the Smiths had a marriage contract. Grace's fiancé was an illegitimate son, kicked out of the Black family long ago. He was poor and didn't even have a decent job. Grace didn't want to marry him at all.
I'm pregnant! It's Zane's! I can't marry that Black family bastard!
Chloe is also a daughter of the Smith family. She can marry him instead.
Marriage contract between our families couldn't be broken. If Grace refused, I had to take her place.
won't marry him.
Don't you want Rose to have her surgery? Marry that man, and we'll pay for it.
For Rose, I had no choice.
Fine, I'll marry him.
To save my only family, I sold myself to a man I'd never met, a broke, illegitimate son of the Black family. A few days later, I stood in a shabby little church on the outskirts, wearing a cheap white slip dress.
No one from the groom's family came. No flowers, no blessings, just a cold transaction.
You promised. After the wedding, you'll give me the money.
Then Grace walked in, on arm with Zane, dripping in designer brands.
Your groom isn't here yet? Even a broke loser doesn't want you.
Suddenly, the church doors creaked open. Blinding light flooded in. A man walked in against the light. Broad shoulders, long legs. He came straight towards me. When he looked up, he took my breath away. He was the most striking man I'd ever seen. No question. My heart pounded. This was my husband? The loser everyone talked about?
I'm sorry, honey. I'm late.
Honey? He called me honey? He gently tucked the stray hairs by my ear behind it. His fingertips brushed against it, making me flinch.
Don't be nervous.
So what if he's handsome? He's just a loser!
He stretched out his hand to me. I hesitated, then placed my hand in his. He held it, warm and firm. Then my eyes caught something on his wrist. A Patty Filippi watch.
Who was he really? How could a broke guy afford $1 million watch?
After the rushed ceremony, Evan brought me to his home. A run-down courtyard on the outskirts. The place was tiny and bare. Dilapidated, even. Maybe that watch was fake.
This is my place. Hope you don't mind.
It's clean.
This was already much better than the dark and damp basement I used to live in. Evan started unbuttoning his shirt. I caught a glimpse of hard muscles underneath and quickly looked away. Suddenly, he pulled me close and pinned me against the wall.
See something you like?
I wasn't looking.
Honey, it's late. Time to fulfill our marital duties?
No, we're only married on paper.
Don't worry, I'm just teasing. We're only married on paper. You live your life, I live mine. No interference.
He stepped back, his expression cold again. I felt relieved, but strangely disappointed. I'll be faithful as long as this marriage lasts.
But being faithful includes basic honesty, doesn't it?
He nodded, then suddenly narrowed his eyes at me.
You're not Grace. Who are you?
My heart sank. No, I couldn't let him find out I was a substitute bride. Otherwise, Rose's medical fees would be gone. Of course I am Grace. Who else would I be? I quickly changed the subject, looking around the tiny house with only one bed.
I'll take the couch. You take the bedroom.
How can I let you do that?
So you want to share the bed?
I want to sleep alone.
I ran into the bedroom, face red, and locked the door. In the morning, I saw Evan's tall frame curled up on the tiny couch. I felt sorry for him. I made bacon and egg sandwiches and sat down beside him. Evan's eyes fluttered open. Suddenly, he hugged me tightly.
I missed you so much. You finally came back.
Hearing that, I froze. Who did he think I was? Was I just someone's replacement? Evan woke up with a start and looked at me. Who were you calling out to in your dream?
I dreamed about my late mother. She used to make bacon and egg sandwiches for me, too.
So I had misunderstood him.
After breakfast, I went to the Smith house to ask for money.
You promised. After the wedding, you'd give me the money.
Take it easy. Grace is going to study abroad, so you'll have to wait a bit longer.
Why didn't your broke husband come back with you? It seems he dislikes you. I married him in your place.
Any disgust he feels for me is meant for you. Grace flew into a rage and grabbed a water glass to throw at me. Evan appeared out of nowhere. He reached out and pulled me aside. I fell into his arms.
Sorry I'm late.
Evan opened his bag. It was full of luxury jewelry, watches, and antiques. Grace's and Daphne's eyes went wide. In that moment, I suddenly felt that this ridiculous marriage might not be so bad after all.
These are the Black family's gifts to the Smith family. But I just heard you disowning my wife, so no gifts.
How could a loser afford real ones? They're all fakes.
Evan packed everything up and pulled me away.
Have you been short on money lately?
I couldn't tell him about Rose. He was poor. I didn't want to add to his burden.
I want to find a job.
I've seen your designs. Try Sterling Group.
Sterling Group was the leader in the design industry. Its CEO, Lawrence Black, was mysterious. No one had ever seen his face. But Sterling only takes graduates from top schools.
Sterling only values real ability. You'll get in.
With Evan's encouragement, I applied and actually got an interview invitation. When I pushed open the interview room door and saw the interviewer, I froze. The interviewer was her? The interviewer was my own sister, Grace.
Oh, didn't expect this, did you?
With your high school diploma, you want to get into Sterling? Dream on. You stole my Harvard acceptance letter and took my place. So what? If you're so capable, prove it.
She pulled out an exam and tossed it in front of me. This wasn't a test for fresh graduates at all. She was deliberately making it hard for me. I said nothing and buried myself in the test. An hour later, I handed her the completed exam.
You cheated?
She casually marked fail on the score sheet.
I say you're not a good fit, so you're not getting in.
After the interview, I received a rejection notice.
You interviewed there?
I did, but I didn't get it. The interviewer was my sister. But the next day, Sterling Group sent me an acceptance email. It said that after senior management review, they had decided to hire me. I was stunned. Was someone in the upper management secretly helping me? I came back to Sterling Group. This time, they led me into a large conference room. Sitting in the center was the executive assistant, Sean.
Grace, you rejected Miss Smith, citing character issues. Show me the evidence.
I heard it from others.
Without evidence, it's slander. You're demoted.
Grace was escorted out by security. I was completely stunned.
Miss Smith, you can start tomorrow.
Back home, I told Evan what happened.
Do you think the assistant helped me?
Does he like me? Evan's face darkened instantly.
Are you really that happy when a strange man shows you kindness? Don't forget, you're a married woman.
I was just joking. Why was he angry? He wasn't the one who helped me. Wait. Could he be jealous? Evan said he'd find an apartment near my company. I didn't think he meant it, until he brought me to this 2-bedroom apartment with great lighting.
This place is great. It's only a 10-minute walk from work. But the next second, my smile faded.
A place like this must cost at least $5,000. I told you to find something cheap.
The landlord wants to rent out this house as soon as possible for personal reasons. He is only charging $1,000.
How is that possible? Is it haunted? I warily checked every room, even getting on the floor to look under the bed.
What are you doing?
There's no way it's this cheap. I need to check if anyone died here. I stood up too quickly, lost my balance, and accidentally knocked Evan over. We landed on the bed in an intimate position, noses touching. Evan looked at my lips and leaned in. My heart tightened. It started racing. I suddenly sneezed, and spit went all over Evan's face. I quickly wiped his face with my tissue, then immediately stood up and hurried away.
I'll go pack my luggage first.
The next day, I officially joined Sterling's design department. Just as I reached my desk, Grace darted out and stepped hard on my foot.
Oops. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
I winced in pain. Before I could speak, she leaned in and looked me up and down. Dressed so flashy. Done with your broke husband and trying to seduce the CEO? Colleagues looked over. I clenched my fist, about to speak.
The CEO wouldn't be interested in you anyway.
I whipped my head around. Evan? What was he doing here?
How did you get in? This is employee only.
I'm here to pick up my wife after work.
Just then, Sean walked over from the end of the hall.
Mr.
Evan shot him a look. Sean choked back the rest of his words.
Sir, your delivery. Thanks.
Just a lousy delivery guy.
I looked at Evan suspiciously. Who was he really? Why did the executive assistants seem to know him? After work, I walked out of the building chatting with a male colleague. I had just turned into an alley when someone tapped my shoulder. I turned and saw Evan.
You didn't forget about me, did you, babe?
How could you call me that way in a public place? He grabbed my bag and wrapped his arm around my waist.
This is my wife. Stay away from her.
The colleague walked away awkwardly. I was both angry and embarrassed. But my heart skipped a beat. Was Evan jealous? The wind at the bus stop was strong. Evan and I stood side by side. A white BMW pulled up. Grace rolled down her window, a mocking smile on her face.
If you get down and lick the dirt off my boots, I might consider giving you a ride. You'll never ride in a car like this. I was about to fire back when a black Rolls-Royce suddenly pulled up.
Sir, madam, sorry to keep you waiting. Please get in.
Grace was stunned. So was I. The moment the door shut, I heard Grace's shrill voice outside.
Impossible! He's clearly a loser! How can he afford a Rolls-Royce?
I stared at Evan beside me. I suddenly felt like I'd never really known him at all. Who are you really? You're not some poor guy, are you? His Adam's apple bobbed once. His eyes started to dart away. What was he hiding? In the car, I stared at Evan, waiting for his answer.
The car is rented. I wanted to make a good impression for you.
How much do you even make a month? You're broke and so vain.
I was barely keeping my head above water, yet he was out here pretending to be rich.
You can walk back yourself. I'm not riding in this. I'd rather walk.
I stepped out of the car and walked off. When I got home, I smelled something burning. Evan was in the kitchen, trying to cook a steak. Crash. A stack of plates shattered on the floor. His finger was cut, blood dripping.
How could you be so careless?
I grabbed his finger and put it in my mouth to stop the bleeding. He froze, his face turning bright red. Our eyes met, and the atmosphere shifted. I quickly let go, my heart pounding. That night, something quietly changed between us. Soon after I joined the company, my design got approved by my supervisor, Leo.
Your design is good. The company is selecting outstanding designers. If you want, I can help you.
The way he looked at me made my skin crawch. I got what he was hinting at. He was trying to get me laid. I didn't say anything. I just secretly opened the voice recorder on my phone. When I got home, Evan could tell something was wrong as soon as he saw me.
What's wrong?
I told him about Leo harassing me.
I'm going to talk to someone at your company.
Don't worry. I have a recording. Tomorrow at the meeting, I'll play it for everyone.
You're sure you can handle it?
Yeah. I'll settle the scores myself. He was quiet for a moment, then nodded.
Fine. But remember, I'm always here.
The next day, word spread through the whole company that I was seducing my superior. I knew who did it. Grace. She was holding a grudge against me after she got demoted. The way my colleagues looked at me had changed. Some with pity, some with contempt, most just waiting for the drama. Grace wanted to play? Fine. Bring it on. I was no pussover. Monday meeting. Everyone was there.
Chloe, you're shameless. A total disgrace. You have no place in this design department.
She stood on the podium, humiliating me in front of everyone. The room buzzed with whispers. Everyone was waiting to see me break. I stood up and walked to the front. I have a recording here I think everyone should hear. I pressed play.
If want, I can help you.
Chloe seduced Leo just to win the Outstanding Designer competition.
The room went silent. Leo and Grace turned pale.
You me up!
A setup? Is that your voice on the recording? I looked at Grace. She was panicking. After the meeting, Leo was suspended pending investigation. Grace was fired on the spot. As she left, she turned back and glared at me.
Just you wait. Next time, I'll make you get down on your knees and beg me.
I knew this wasn't over. On the weekend, I went to see Rose.
The doctor said her condition had worsened. She needed a transfer and surgery.
But I didn't have nearly enough money. My adoptive parents wouldn't answer my calls.
The servant said they'd gone to the Maldives.
They had money for vacation, but not to pay me back. I stood in the hospital hallway, staring at an ad for drug trials. When I got home, Evan saw the file on my phone.
You're going to do drug trials? Are you insane?
I don't have a choice.
Why didn't you come to me?
We are husband and wife only to the outside world. Why would I ask you for money? He looked at me like he couldn't believe what I was saying.
So in your heart, that's all we are? Just a nominal couple?
I didn't have time to answer. He pulled me close and kissed me. It was a fierce kiss, like he was trying to devour me. In that moment, I forgot to push him away. I couldn't resist Evan's kiss. After a while, he finally let me go. I'm sorry. I was raised to believe I couldn't count on anyone but myself.
Things are different now. You have me.
I looked at him, and something inside me shifted. From now on, I'll try to trust you. I'll treat you like a friend. The smile on his face frozen.
My phone suddenly buzzed. A client liked my design and offered $20,000. I was so excited I threw myself into Evan's arms, then awkwardly pushed him away.
The payment came through. I paid Rose's bills and had $3,000 left.
Let's go. I'm treating you to a meal, the fanciest restaurant in the city.
We walked into the restaurant. The waiter looked us up and down, curling his lip.
If you can't afford it, don't come here. So tacky.
Stares shot in our direction. My face burned. Evan set down his water glass and gave the waiter a sharp look. That look
made the waiter's legs go weak.
Call your manager. Calling the manager won't change anything. Get your manager now.
2 minutes later, the manager rushed over, sweat on his forehead.
You're fired! Leave now!
The waiter was stunned.
So was I.
Tonight, everything is on the house. Order whatever you like.
Do you know him?
No. Maybe they're afraid of bad reviews.
Since it was free, I ordered the most expensive steak and wine. Full and tipsy. My head was spinning. Evan carried me to the car. His chest was warm, and I couldn't help snuggling closer. Evan, last time was my first kiss. It was terrible. I wrapped my arms around his neck. This time, a gentle kiss. Before I could steady myself, Evan pinned me against the wall. He lowered his head and kissed me.